What's up, guys? Max here, back with a brand new episode of the Scuttlebutt Show. Thank you all for joining me today, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. We have Rob Sweetman joining us today to talk about some big announcements that he has going on. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day. It's going to be a really fun episode, and we have another special guest, too, that I will introduce here in a moment. So we're going to be having a fun and exciting and kind of monumental episode. You guys know Rob from Exist Tribe is one of our favorite guests over here. So without further ado, let me introduce our two special guests. We have Rob and basically about to be Dr. Barda. Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So everyone who's watching, they probably know Rob. So Barda, can you please introduce yourself for the audience and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, Max. Thank you for having us tonight. It's really a pleasure because Rob has been talking about this show all the time. I'm Barda. I'm a sixth-year medical student, and I will graduate and become a medical doctor in less than 2 months. I've been working with Exist Tribe since last summer. I started as a research assistant and helped create the 6-2 Romeo program, and helped work in the pilot study which we did. And it was, we're actually right now working on our research paper. It's been a really fun experience for me. And I could say it was the experience of my life, seeing how this small group of people, we basically helped change their life by by helping them with their sleep issues. And I know that we can do much more with this. So it's really a pleasure just to be a part of this.
I bet that makes you pretty excited about your future in medicine.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Rob, maybe somebody out there needs to know the 5 W's about you. If you want to just give us a quick intro, there might be some new listeners out there.
5 W's. Yep. So Max and I have known each other for a while. I was a SEAL mostly at SEAL Team 7. Did a deployment with Max and became friends. Joined the show, I think 4 years ago was our first time doing this. So I've been a fan ever since. I was there that night that we broke 1,000.
Yes.
That was legit.
Yes.
And now look at you, man. What is it, like over 7,000? That's crazy. And that's less than a year from when I first started really tuning in to the video part. So when I got out, I wanted to do something to help out veterans. I'd experienced a bunch of sleep deprivation on my own and had a buddy who took his life. We've talked about that on previous episodes. And my best estimation was that a lot of it had to do with sleep. And it turned out that that is a real thing, that sleep and mental health it's not just one causing the other. It's a bi-directional relationship, meaning one can cause the other and vice versa. So that really piqued my interest, and my way to kind of to deal with the grieving was to put a bunch of effort in one direction to help other veterans with sleep. So we created this company called Exist Tribe, and basically we wanted to build hardware and software to help out with sleep, devices, stuff like that. And we've been working on that for a long time. But with the China shortages of chips, we've really been hampered as a company. And, I'm okay where I'm at in life, and I just want to grow this thing organically. There's no rush to get to any magical finish line. So last year, Barda came onto the team, and don't let her undersell herself. She really is the backbone of the whole 62 Romeo thing. I'm just the dummy. I'm the talking head, but she really built the content, did the research, which she's much better at doing, and put together all of the true academic founding for everything they were doing. So what we did was we created this thing called 62 Romeo, and we originally called it 62R. Max, I think you coined the name 62 Romeo, so I'll give you credit for that. It's natural, right? That's how we read it in the military. And so anyways, this program, we did a pilot study, we did a documentary, we're working on an academic paper. It's taken forever, but we're going to publish that. And Bart is right, we changed some lives. We increased their sleep performance just off the charts. We saved their lives in many ways. And so since then, we've been doing, some private 62 Romeo stuff. But it occurred to me that we really need to transition this to something newer and bigger. And so that's what I want to talk to everybody about tonight when we get to that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all the kind words. Thank you, everybody in the chat. By the way, if anybody's listening and you have a question for our guests here or anything about 62 Romeo or anything about what we're talking about, please leave it in the comments and I'll get to it. And I just want to give a shout out to M. Hutchinson in the chat. Is that my recruiter out there? I can't tell by looking at you, but if it is, it's great to hear from you. I have nothing but kind things to say about you whenever, if that is you. And anyway, if my recruiter's out there, you were the best recruiter ever. So Rob, yeah, thank you. It has been quite a journey. Thank you for everything that you said. But definitely I want to talk about this announcement. So what is going on with 62 Romeo? What is the big update and how is it going to affect people going forward?
So the big update is we took basically a services like this program, a 6-week program that we were working on to support this sleep technology that we're working on. And we drew a line in the sand and we put this into a new category. And basically we're giving nonprofits, veterans, sponsors, people that want to help veterans, we're letting them hit the easy button. We have a solution that is absolutely complete and it brings in all of the best leading science on sleep science and puts it into one package. Some of the advantages of the way that we're doing this is, first of all, there's no pills, no drugs, nothing like that. It's all just good science. And, there's a saying that I like to remember from the teams, which is everybody wants to get big, but nobody wants to lift those heavy weights, right? So that's kind of the approach we take. We get down to the root of the problem. We get down to behaviors. We get down to opinions and psychology of sleep. And we start to make micro changes over this 6-week process. And I'll go ahead and tell you the secret, right? The reason it's 6 weeks is because that's about how long it takes to form new habits. So we're forming new habits. We're creating those physiological responses to our behavioral interventions. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, looking at past performance in that 5th and 6th week, people see this huge spike in their sleep performance, their happiness, their relationships at home. This impacts everything. I mean, it impacts, how hungry you are, the types of foods that you eat, your hormone production. It's really crazy what we've, how we've been able to unpack this thing and make an impact, because sleep is just kind of tied to everything in our health and wellness. So now 62 Romeo is going to be a nonprofit. That means sponsors can, sponsor a veteran. Veterans can sign up, and we would like to work with nonprofits that focus on veterans and first responders to help get some of their people who might be suffering with poor sleep through the program, change their life forever. So
that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Barda, do you want to add maybe something from your perspective on what this process could be for anybody who signs up, what they might expect to go through, or what you guys have done to build this program up and what it's based on, and some of that side of it?
We've been really working for months, my side, and Rob has been working in this for years. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of science, and I love how this is combined. This 60 Romeo has combined the technology and science together, because there are a lot of people who have been trying, new technologies that help sleep, just like light or sounds like white noise and stuff. People have been trying that for a long time now, but if your behaviors are not changing, that you're not doing anything. Or same thing with, like, if you're trying to change your behaviors, not take coffee late at night, or just use your phone before bed, or just this kind of behaviors that actually affect sleep. If you're doing this and at night you're listening, and at night it's noisy in your bedroom, you have like a lot of light, it's actually, it doesn't make any sense. So I love how Exist Try, basically Rob came up with this, created this program that did a segmentation on what things like affect our sleep and how to fix everything. Like, it's a really holistic approach, and that's why I love about it. We had our first team, probably Rob talked about this on the previous shows. We had the first team of veterans with 14 participants, and it was really amazing. When we checked at the data, I could not believe my eyes, because I did the data analytics, like the charts and stuff, and I was like mind blown. I was so happy that we were able to, like, at some point when we started the first week, I thought maybe these are just like slides, and people are not gonna listen to our advices, but these are people that really need like good sleep. And it's really sad that even in medical, like I've been in medical school for 6 years now, and even in medical books, it's not that they show the real importance of sleep. You know, we learn like one two rows, or like just a short paragraph, but actually sleep affects every portion of our lives. So it's been really amazing learning all this. It's been a learning experience for me as well, and I think it's going to be like a learning experience for everyone who might want to join and become a part for our next group, or maybe like if they're comfortable doing individuals, like some veterans and some people have been doing with Rob, or other sleep coaches in the team. Whatever they're comfortable with, we can offer that. And I think that's amazing how your life, like your relationship with people, your, like, basically everything about your life can change with that. And I think it's really amazing. It's so easy. Like, you don't have to go for cognitive behavior therapy, you have to visit a doctor, you have to go there every time, like leave your house. And now it's Zoom. Like, pandemic taught us that everything can be done by Zoom as well. And I think it's really easy. And if you just pay a little bit attention to yourself and really want to help yourself, we can definitely help.
What was it like? This is your first time working with the military, right?
Yeah.
What was it like
Yeah,
working with a bunch of veterans, especially special forces veterans?
I it was really good, actually. They were all so kind, and it was my first contact with a group of veterans. Rob was the first one, and then the group of people, I was the first person like in contact with everyone, sending the emails, the forums, checking. They were so, like, I could see that they need this, you know, because they were like so responsive. They really followed instructions, and it's probably an army thing to follow instructions exactly. It was easy to work with them. It was a real pleasure.
That's awesome. Rob, this is like a doorway to, that people now have an opportunity to walk through to get these benefits. This must be an opportunity to give you access to people who need help that you didn't have before, right? Like, this is going to enable so many more people to become a part of this program, a part of this research, a part of this therapy. Have you seen that already? What does that mean to you guys?
Absolutely. And if it's okay, I want to say two things to our current audience.
Yeah, please.
This is important stuff. If you guys want to go to your favorite social media platform and share this YouTube link, and then hashtag 62Romeo, let's get a couple of your friends to join the call as well and listen in, because we have resources. The second thing that I wanted to say is that if you haven't taken the poll, go ahead and take the poll, but go to www.62romeo, spelled out all the way, 62romeo.org. And that is where you're going to be able to sign up and just put your name in the hat, right? So if you're a veteran, you want services, you want help with your sleep, put your name in the hat. It's just click the application piece and drop your information. And we're going to create a list. And then simultaneously, we're going to, match up the sponsors with the veterans. So, if you're a sponsor, you can also drop your information on there. We'll have we'll be accepting donations soon. We're just waiting on the TIN number from the IRS and get all that set up. But we have had a lot of inquiries about, how can I donate? In general, we're going to allow people to donate. It's a tax deduction, tax deductible expense. And so if you're a donor, that donation goes directly to sponsoring an individual veteran. Now, if you're a nonprofit, we have ways to set up entire cohorts for your members. So for example, if you wanted a class like 10 or 15 and just run them through there, you can set that up from the website as well. But the website is the best way to stay in touch with us. It's got all the information. It actually has downloadable content. Like if you want to look at the workbook, for the 62 Romeo program. You can download that and scan through it. Um, if we if you become a participant, we're going to send you one of these sweet T-shirts, the workbook and paper, so you can take notes in it, and everything you need to get started on the program. So super excited.
That's awesome. And then I have I was, while you were talking, I was showing people the website there. So yeah, it is 62romeo.org. And then once you go there, you can apply and you will be put, I guess you'll get something directly in your guys' inbox on the other end there that people are signing up.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So I know people will, some people in the chat said they're sharing. I know people will be eager to get involved and sign up. You don't have to say anything in the chat. If you are signing up, that's up to between you and 62 Romeo. But I think it would be worthwhile if you are struggling with sleep. It reminds me of when not just special operations, but this is, you know, a big problem within the Navy. So maybe if other people are listening and they're like, well, I wasn't a Green Beret, I wasn't a SEAL, you know, should I sign up for this? I remember a couple of years ago in 2017, I believe there were 2 naval ship crashes in the same year. The John McCain was one of them, and another one. And ultimately, those reports cited sleep deprivation as one of the causes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know the people that were on that investigation, and yeah, it was sleep deprivation. And if you unpack that, the inconvenient truth is that this is widespread. If you go back even further to the RAND report on sleep in the military, Dr. Wendy Troxel wrote that. It's scary. It's scary. I mean, if you've been in the military, you get it. You know, I mean, you hurry up and wait, right? Or you just have ridiculous watch hours or just ridiculous deployment cycles or workups. And sleep is really the last thing. And sometimes, you know, the lack of sleep is kind of worn as a badge of honor. And we have to change that cultural perspective, because if you're underslept, you're underperforming. One of the things that I throw out there, you know, if you're awake for 20 hours, which is actually a pretty long time, but if you're awake for 20 hours, that's the same cognitive performance as if you're drunk, as if you're legally drunk. And then if you lose an hour of sleep for like 5 days straight, same effect. So, you know, people who are, you know, on these terrible watch cycles, like on the ships, you know, five and dimes, I'm sure that's what was a part of what led up to the collisions. You're smoked, you're tired, your hormones are out of whack, you got a rotating watch schedule, you can't get the sleep that you need. You lay down on the rack, but you just can't get the sleep, and your body starts to deteriorate, your mental alertness, and then over a career you can start to develop all kinds of health problems. And everybody's different, but the one unifying factor is, you know, people are coming out of the Navy and all the other forces with these terrible, you know, at Naval Postgraduate School, they call it circadian scarring. They come out with these terrible sleep, you know, habits. And they don't, you know, what I found is that most people want to be better. They want to help themselves, but they don't know how to, right? And so we give them the tools. You mind if I tell a sea story?
Please, people, I know everyone would love that.
All right. So I was thinking about this the other night, and I've never told anybody this story before.
Wow.
And it has to do with buds. So I was going through Hell Week, and this is something of personal importance to me, and it's something that you know, mental toughness strategy. This is my strategy. These are the secrets inside my head coming out of how I made it through buds and how I was able to mentally process all that. So it's about goal setting, right? And this plays into 62 Romeo. But my strategy with making it through buds was to remain present, right? And to focus on just one evolution at a time. And so I also hold a belief that you should celebrate even the small victories, small celebration, but don't let that opportunity pass by, because when we, when we achieve something, we should give ourselves a little bit of gratitude for that. So my strategy in making it through Hell Week, they give you these white shirts. So you show up, you have your white shirt, you stencil your name on the front. I went through, and on the back collar, and I still have my Buds boots and one of those shirts, and of course the helmets. On the back collar, I also stenciled day one. And after day one, I retired that shirt. And on day two, as you might imagine, I put on day two shirt. And I celebrated and cherished every single day by, it was a little bit ceremonial for me, but that was my little secret. And if I just made it through day two, then this day two shirt comes off and I get a chance to wear day three. And I did that every single day. And of course I made it through, thank goodness. A lot of good guys should have made it through, it didn't. But those techniques with goal setting also play, are good to have with something like a 42-day program like 62 Romeo. Each and every day, we may stutter step and we may fall and we may not have, perfect, if we give you a prescription to do a breathing exercise or go to bed at a certain bedtime or whatever, you may mess up and you may not follow instructions correctly. But that's okay, because as long as you're trying and you make it through that day, each day you can improve. And so individual goal setting is one of the techniques I like to stress. And if you can just sort of focus on it and keep coming back and trying, in the 62 Romeo program, once you finish, you're going to look back and you're going to realize, wow, I am in a completely different place than when I started. So
that's great.
I also believe in the first thing that you should do before you start like joining like a sleeping program, like, or trying to fix your sleep, is what is called a growth mindset, which means accepting where you are, accepting that you're not getting enough sleep. Because some people might be even, I don't know how to call it, even proud maybe about saying like, no, I'm good at 4 hours, I can perform pretty well. But we've seen that people don't perform well in like 4 hours, 5 hours. Like it's really bad. Like it's really bad for you. And before starting something, you have to accept where you are. You have to accept that, okay, I do not get perfect sleep, but I can get help, I can fix that, and this will improve my life, this will improve my performance at work, this will improve my learning abilities, this will improve a lot of things about me, and the relationship with my friends and my coworkers and my family and everyone. So a growth mindset is a must have.
Is that a well established idea, growth mindset? Could people kind of research that if they want to look that up?
Yeah, I just listened to a psychiatrist, I think, on YouTube. Is the first video that shows up if you write like growth mindset. I think her name was Carol something. And it was a really good video because you could actually incorporate that in every sphere of your life. Because for everything, like if you're learning to play a guitar or something, first you have to accept that you don't know how to do that. Even in the like relationship with people, feel like everything, like it really applies to everything in your life, and it helps you like accepting your mistakes. It really helps you like improve. It's a basic thing we know, but now it has a name. It's called the growth mindset, and that's really needed for our program. That's something we actually really need, for people to accept that they're not good, like what they're doing is not good. Having coffee late at night or using their phone before bed is not a good thing. And when they accept it's they make our job a lot more easier, because they just take our advices and they know that it's for their own good, and it's actually gonna generally improve them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a philosophy I have subscribed to myself, which is I don't have a name for it, but I think one of the like my personal philosophy is to see what's really there and accept it as true. And
Yeah.
I used an example for what it's worth. I'm going to definitely be looking up growth mindset, because that will be something that I can relate to, it sounds like. But I was just telling somebody about this the other day. An example of what I was saying is, if I was to get into a car accident and I caused it, I would assess that and I'd be like, that's my fault. And I would admit that it was my fault and accept the consequences of that. And the point's not that I'm going to get into a car accident. The point's that because I already have that mindset, I'm going to not get into a car accident, because I know that if I did and I caused it, I'll accept responsibility for it. So when I think of picking up my phone to text and drive, I'm not going to do that, because I know that if I do that and then I cause an accident, I am going to be at fault and I'm going to accept fault. And a lot of us, maybe you've heard it in Alcoholics Anonymous or something, where it's like, the first step is admitting you have a problem. And all too often people refuse to accept that there's anything wrong with them or that they have any weaknesses, because expressing a weakness will be, attacked, which is common in the military, especially in special operations. If you show weakness, people will attack it. And it's to make you stronger, to kind of make you see that you can overcome that. But it's also kind of toxic, especially if you do it to people who aren't mentally tough enough to take it. And maybe that's what's happening to people out there at their jobs or with their families, with their siblings, with their spouses and friends, stuff like that. So anyway, I think that's great. I'm going to definitely be checking that out. So, Rob or Barta, whoever wants to take this, somebody goes on today, they sign up with a group. What can they expect to happen over the course of what timeline?
I'll take that one. So, by the way, is the poll still up?
The poll's still up on. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you guys aren't on YouTube, there's a YouTube poll up right now, and the question is: are you getting enough sleep? Currently, 50% at no, 21% at I don't know, and only 29% at yes, which is actually up from last time. So maybe we're helping.
Thanks, Nancy Lynn, for putting the Mindset by Carol Dweck, PhD.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, typically we do these surveys and it comes back with 80% of people are not satisfied with their sleep, or they're getting poor sleep. Coming from the veteran community, that's not a surprise. We have the worst sleep habits ever. All the research points towards veterans having the worst sleep, but everybody's kind of struggling. It's a global epidemic, especially in the U.S. I think a third of the country is getting short sleep, not enough sleep, based on what the averages are. So what would people expect? So first of all, I would encourage all those people that clicked on, no, I'm not getting enough sleep or not getting good enough sleep, go to www.62romeo.org, fully spelled out. I put it in the chat, and just click on the participant page, and it asks for your email and a password. Just put in your email and create whatever password, and click on the apply part, the application. And all it's going to do is ask you what's your name and email and a couple of questions. Then your name is put in the hat. So once we have our pool of names, which has already started, we have a running list now. As we get sponsors, those sponsors will come in and, kind of like sponsor a vet, right? So then we'll plug people in together. Once we have a full cohort, then we'll kick it off. So what does 62 Romeo look like? Well, you can expect to get a light and sound machine. You can expect to get a Withings sleep mat, which is a ballistic cardiogram. I think it's important to point out that we measure sleep every single day. And so through this program, we use objective measurements, which is, we have a sleep measurement device. You can't lie on that, right? It's going to measure your sleep no matter what. It's not perfect, but it gives us a objective measurement. And then we also do sleep diaries. So you get to tell us your opinion about your sleep, and then we just correlate that data. But you get that stuff, the workbook, the t-shirt in the mail. And then once we form up the cohort, everything's virtual. It's the beauty of technology, right? So we can have, and that's why this thing is going to grow so quickly and help more people than any other program I've seen, is because we can scale up so quick. So we would have a group of people, everybody joins for an hour once a week on Zoom, and then we give individual instruction, and we stay in communication over email. You can expect to do things like breathing exercises. You can expect to have, a bedtime, right? Adults hate that concept of having a bedtime. That's for my kids, right? But yeah, we look at the bedtime, the wake time, and all that stuff. What I've found is that a lot of people, we give so many different tools in education that people can kind of pick out which tools that they prefer. So we give a bunch of tools to put in the toolbox and a bunch of education, and people start to figure it out. They start to educate themselves, and then it becomes your journey, right? And so you can kind of customize the way that you sleep best. And so I think that's why we're having such a high success rate. Plus we're, multi-pronged in the way that we approach this. So yeah, I would encourage everybody, if you are even thinking about, needing to improve your sleep, just throw your name in the hat on the website, and that's the best way to get started.
Awesome. You know, I don't know if you saw this shocked look on my face at one point when you started talking, but I was just thinking about, you know, if people get into this program, you're talking about sending over a mat, sleep mat, a rest node, a t-shirt, a workbook. It's an incredible amount of value that you're giving out to people who are accepted into this program. I hope people understand that that's huge. I mean, you guys are doing a huge, good, you know, this is a good mission, a real honest and purposeful mission. And you guys are obviously that's a demonstration of how much you guys are putting into it. That's amazing. And
thank you.
And that's maybe there's people listening, that's made possible through fundraising. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So there's two modalities. There's the individual, like we got hit up today in preparation for this call. People are asking, how do they donate? And I'll go ahead and apologize now. We're working as fast as we can. We're waiting on the IRS and all that to give us our TIN number and set all that up. But once we get all the spaghetti plugged in together on the website, you'll be able to just click and donate. In the short term, go ahead on the donation or the sponsors page. If you just go to the 62romeo.org/sponsors, there's a section down there to just connect with us. So just drop us a message. We'll get back to you probably within the next few days or a week with the ability to donate. So what that looks like is that, like, let's say I'm an individual and I'd really like to help out. I can go to the website, I can donate. It's a tax deductible contribution. I can sponsor one veteran or multiple veterans or whatever I'm comfortable with. That's one modality, and we've seen to have already gotten a lot of response on that. And then the other modality is there's so many different veteran-centric nonprofits that have a ton of veterans, and they may not know how to, they understand the problem clearly, you know, that veterans come out with sleep issues, but they don't know how to address that. And so that's when we hit the easy button, right? This is a prepackaged program that is well thought out. Every single thing that we do is documented, and each of the elements of how we approach this are already proven, even at the FDA level, by other people that are smarter than me. And so we just put it into a nice, neat package. So with that, let's say you're a veteran nonprofit and you want to help, you don't know how to help, you just simply reach out to us, right? And you go to 62romeo.org/nonprofits, and it starts to give you the breakout of how that works. So a nonprofit can book an entire class. So let's say they've got, you know, thousands of veterans need help. They filter through the veterans with our application process. Some people won't qualify, you know, if they have, for example, a terminally ill spouse and they can't get sleep at night, this, you know, the types of things that we're going to do, they're just not going to help them. If they're, you know, if you have a baby infant at home and you're cohabitating, like, it's not a lot you can do about that, right? There's other medical conditions that might exclude you. So in general, you know, we're going to try to pull as many people in as possible. Not everybody will qualify, but of those groups, we should have nonprofits that stand up their own cohorts and potentially, like, you know, one cohort a month for every month kind of thing, or individual sponsors can sponsor a vet. And once we have enough to kick off a class, then we'll just do that. So
awesome. And Barta, from your side of it, can you maybe expand upon the application process and what you look at and who's getting approved and why some of that stuff is disqualifying?
We have an intake form, and then we have another form that they fill, like how many hours of sleep are they getting, and they have to explain like why they're not getting enough sleep. We're working on a new form right now because the old one did not give us enough information on the cause of the veterans or the participants not getting enough sleep. And if there's someone that has like a sick family member or an infant or something like Rob mentioned before, it's impossible for them because it's not their behaviors that are preventing them from getting quality sleep, but it's like the situation in their house, and there's nothing we can do to help about that. Like in the previous group, we had, like I mentioned before, like we had 14 participants, and one of them had a terminally ill wife, unfortunately, and he really affected the results. Like we, even on our research paper that we're actually writing right now, we're done with that. We're looking for journals to publish. And even on our research paper, we did like the graphs, one including that veteran, and then we had the other graph that we excluded that just to see how it actually, how they actually changed. And it was drastic. It was like the other ones were getting better sleep, were getting more REM sleep, more deep sleep. The sleep latency was lower. But when we added the data from that veteran, it was all messed up data, It was still showing improvement, but not as much. So if there's someone that having these kind of issues, we're probably, unfortunately, we'll have to exclude them until they're in a better situation in their life where they can actually improve their behaviors through our program. After they're qualified, we have the intake form where they fill like a lot of information. They have some questionnaires, like we collected all of the sleep questionnaires they have to fill just to see their situation before the study. And then daily, they'll have to fill daily diaries, or we're going to send the workbook, which has a side, like one side, there's information about the week, and on the other side, there's which they can also download through our website that you added there. And on the other side, there's a blank page to add information about their sleep, like whatever they find, like a sleep diary. They have to add like different experiences, for example, because we have a sleeping mat which will record their sleep. And if one night, let's say, they did not sleep in their bed, they slept in their couch, and our withing sleep mat is showing 0 hours of sleep or something, it's kind of weird for the data. So on their workbook, they write explanations about each night or some special nights. And after that, when we're done with the 6 weeks, we have lectures once a week. And when we're done with everything, they have the outtake survey now. They have to fill all the same questionnaires again, and we'll see like how that actually improved. We check the withing sleep mat data. We check the sleep diaries. We check the intake and outtake form and compare them. And this way we have like a different approach on what actually changed and what didn't, and how we actually help them. And I could probably say that it showed improvement in our previous groups. So why not, like on the next group, like bigger groups, or like personal people that want to take like a personal coach and don't want to be included in bigger groups, like they feel more comfortable with one coach or something, whatever they're comfortable with. This is a process. It's 6 weeks. It's only once a week. It does not consume a lot of your time, and I could say for sure that it's helpful. So why not?
Yeah. Some people might be wondering now, when they apply, some of these questions that you guys are taking their privacy into consideration. Is that when people are part of this program, when they're filling out this information, are you guys working to ensure that they are safe online, and that these results are being handled in I guess a way that you would expect with modern technology and security in mind?
Yeah, we follow all HIPAA compliance guidelines, but the questions aren't difficult in the beginning. It's kind of like, hey, how much do you, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you want to improve your sleep? We don't get into anything health related until they take the intake form. They've been approved. They're ready to get started, stuff like that. And the questions are not very intrusive. We just want to find out kind of like a snapshot of where you're at, and then we take a snapshot at the end. But that stuff is absolutely stored in a safe location, and that stuff is never shared. That's HIPAA compliance. So
awesome. Great. Yeah, I'm sure people will be wondering about that kind of thing. I think that's something that's become more on the forefront of everybody's mind when they are putting their data out on the internet. If you're in the military, don't worry about it because you got hacked by China, and all of your stuff was stolen. But for everybody else out there who maybe joined later or wasn't part of that OPM hack, you should take good care of your stuff. And I won't, maybe you don't know what I just said, but I won't go any further into it to not get off topic. So by the way, stick around because by the end of this episode, we're going to do a breathing exercise, an interactive breathing exercise. So if you're out there, prepare to participate if you want to. You don't have to, but it's something that we've been doing that has been really fun and productive. So we got so we have the website pulled up. By the way, if people wanted to, could they just go support by buying a t-shirt or something?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, give us a little bit of time. Put a reminder on your phone because we got to plug in the new account. Everything is brand new. We're standing this up right now. This is the first announcement. So the website does have t-shirts. There's this one. This is the desert tan, and I got the olive drab back here. We have both of those shirts in multiple different sizes. So if while we're waiting on the payment processing stuff to get all set up on the website, which should be within the next week or so, we can go direct with people to get them out a t-shirt. Of course, if they're a participant in the program, they're going to get one anyways. But so there's multiple levels, ways that people can support t-shirts, sponsor a vet, and we really should talk if you work for a nonprofit that supports veterans. And we don't want to exclude first responders too. They're dealing with the same type of issues. Our focus is on veterans right now, but we want to quickly expand to include fire, police, first responders, and really we should address nursing as well. Doctors have some of the worst shifts. So just, in time, right? We're growing, we're very new, but we're getting a ton of incredible response so far. So, I mean, I'm excited. Just stay in touch with us. Go to the website, put your name in there and we will be in touch.
Yeah. No small feat what you're doing. It's cool because if people have been listening to the show a long time, they've seen the journey over the past 5 years almost. And if you guys go back to the very earliest videos on my YouTube channel, you can see where we saw you at the pitch night for a small grant from, was it UCSD?
It was.
And I mean, you won the grant that night, and it was just we've just seen so much happen with you and with Exist and with now 62 Romeo and into the nonprofit space to directly, get help to veterans. Now, there's been a couple of questions in the chat. Are you comfortable taking them? Maybe you and Barda
sure.
can team up. One of them was, does sleeping with a pillow between or under your knees help, or are some sleeping positions, maybe if you know some, that people can try?
Yeah, that's a good idea, especially, that's more of a musculoskeletal / pain thing. You can cause pain if your knees are pinched together and you're curled over, depending on what position. Everybody's different. That's the thing. But I've heard a lot of good things about putting a pillow between the knees because it relieves a lot of the pressure on the hips, especially that upper hip, depending on which way you're laying. I think that it's also going to be a shooter choice, if I can say that, right? Like,
Yes.
everyone is different. I prefer a firm mattress. Some people prefer a soft mattress or a Tempur-Pedic. Tempur-Pedic gets me too hot. And we go into all this stuff in 62 Romeo, but definitely light, sound, and temperature are 2 or 3 different things that we really focus on. So let's say you have a Tempur-Pedic mattress, like, I remember I got the free one at the high bay when they passed them out back at the team. Those things, man, I run hot on those. And so one thought is you can wear cooling clothes. Like we're talking to Deep Sleepwear right now to try to support their sleepwear, which it cools the body. There's also Sleep Me, the company they just rebranded from Cry. Sleep Me, they do the Uller pad. It runs water through this pad on your bed, keeps you cool at night. Another one is Bed Jet. It blasts air under your sheets. That's one of my favorites. That's what I use right now. But temperature regulation, position, comfort. Oftentimes people complain about pain as a major detractor from sleep. So everybody's going to be different depending on your injuries, your preference, stuff like that. But if you're finding that a pillow between the knees helps you out, yeah, that's great.
Barda, do you have anything to add with that? Is this a blood flow thing, posterior chain? Should people be stretching before bed? Anything like that?
Yeah, we in 60 Romeo, like we discussed, like during our program, we discussed all these conditions in the bedroom that actually help you get better sleep at night. And we gave the most importance to temperature, light, and sound. So it has to be, your room has to be like darker, and it has to be like the lowest noise that you can get, like really quiet. like for people living in big cities, it's kind of impossible sometimes, but you could help it with some music in the background or some nature sounds or something, whatever helps you. And for temperature, like lower temperature, like cooler temperatures are better. If you get like light clothes, and even if it's summer, like open the windows before you fall asleep, and this kind of information. Then we have like the foods that help and exercises, but mostly like you don't get really difficult exercises at night. We usually prefer to do that in the morning. When you wake up, it helps you it actually helps you open your eyes. Getting some sunlight and doing some exercises. But before bed, you could do some yoga or meditation or breathing exercises. They are proven to help more. Now there are a lot of different foods that help. For example, while doing our research, I found some really interesting things, that tart cherry and kiwi fruit and some kind of different fruits that I had no idea they really help with sleep as well.
Oh, wow.
There've been studies done on that, and it's so easy. Just just try it. For some of them, I think for tart cherry, they were discussing if it's just like a placebo effect or if it really helps. But they've done some experiments with some groups of people that were having sleep issues, and it really helps. So whatever helps you.
I didn't even think about diet before bed. I normally just think avoid food before going, or drinks before going to sleep. But yeah, I didn't even think that there would be certain fruits or anything that could help like that. Very interesting. I know.
That's why we printed the workbooks. We literally are printing workbooks and sending them out so people can take notes, because it's a lot. This is a crash course in sleep. People will be our sleep warriors to go out there and spread the knowledge once they finish the course. Help
Mm-hmm.
others.
I was just gonna say that. So, maybe that's another way that the mission progresses too, is somebody attends this course and then they can help their family members out or something like that. Is that, could somebody finish this and then, they have that workbook and, the info spreads, and they can maybe they're not qualified, but then they can go around and go, hey, I just learned some really cool stuff about sleep from this program. This might benefit you.
Yeah, I mean, evidence-based, right? We talk about stuff that is legit, right? None of the make believe stuff. Just what cold hard facts. What we've seen across the board from scientists and some of these research communities. I do have my own anecdotal stuff from being in the military and having different experiences, but everybody's different. That's interesting that you bring that up, because we do want to pass the word, right? We want to get people through this program, and they can go help their families and they can help their spouse or whatever. We encourage their spouses to sit in on the conversations too. That's fine. Actually, we would prefer the spouse's support, because it's really a team effort. If the spouse is kind of against the program, it makes it more difficult. But one thought, as this thing grows, I have been doing this for a long time, and I'm going to be the speaker at some of these first cohorts. But once we get to where it's too much and there's too many cohorts going on simultaneously, we're going to have to duplicate. Well, we can't duplicate BARDA. It's impossible, right? But we're going to have to find more support. And so one of the thoughts as this thing builds and grows is we do want the 62 Romeo as a nonprofit to potentially be a place for veterans who transition to get a job, right? So let's say, for example, I'm getting out, my sleep is terrible. Somebody hooks me up and I go through the 60 Romeo program. Cool, my sleep is on point. But actually, I really like this stuff. I want to become a sleep coach. So we have a pipeline that we're building out now, so that person can get trained up, certified, qualified by the regular standards, and be able to come back in and with training wheels and be that presenter, right? So now we have this amplifying and exponential effect, right? Where veterans are coming out and helping other veterans, and it just works. It works for everybody. So
Great. Um, so this is all really awesome stuff. Congratulations on launching a nonprofit, launching the new kind of direction or the next step in this evolution of everything that you have going on. It's so cool that we were able to host this announcement on the show here today. I'm super happy for you. when I get back to California this summer, I look forward to maybe visiting your laboratory where you got all the cool stuff going on. However I can support, whatever I can do to spread the word. Barda, congratulations on finishing your medical doctor program. That's incredible.
Thank you.
And do you want to start looking at doing this this breathing exercise? And I will review this poll here that we have going on, where basically about 80% of people said they are not getting enough sleep, or they don't know one way or the other, which checks out with the numbers that you had projected there. We're at 78% fall into that category. So right at about 8 out of 10 people saying that they are not getting enough sleep, or they're not sure, with the overwhelming majority saying no. So maybe we can get you guys on the right path here. Maybe we can do a little sleeping exercise here, which we'll get pulled up here in a moment. We're going to figure it out. If you're listening on the podcast and you're driving, I don't recommend doing this. I don't recommend following along, but you can always go back and re-listen to it. And if you are able, then please feel free to join us. Rob, do you have a link or somewhere I can go to pull this one up?
Yeah, so let's just jump right in. Do we want to do a poll, or do we want to just go ahead and try Ferris wheel breathing?
Let's just
Does that
try.
sound good?
Yeah, let's just try Ferris wheel breathing.
Sound good. So what I'll do is I'm going to email you over the link right now.
Great.
To this one, and if you can just play that.
Yep.
Got it. Here,
I will. I'm standing by for the email.
All right. There.
In the meantime,
okay, looks like it's sent.
Great. In the meantime, for everybody listening on other platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you are, I really appreciate you being here. We do episodes like this 5 days a week. The best way to know about them is to be subscribed over on YouTube. If you don't mind heading over there, that would be fantastic. And let's see, I think I just got it. I got it. So let me head over there to that link. Let's see.
I did want to answer Six Gun Buford III's question about pot. If you're struggling to fall asleep, I'm not going to give medical advice, right? But if you're struggling to fall asleep, you should definitely talk to your physician about maybe using THC. But studies show that it's also a sedative-induced sleep, and it can actually impact the different stages of your sleep. And while it might make you pass out quick, it might feel good. It is a euphoric high, right? It could impact your sleep in a negative way. So long-term use of that is not something that I would recommend. However, there's a reason why doctors prescribe, sleeping medications. And that's something that Dr. Mishra and the soon-to-be Dr. Sataku here can talk about. But when you prescribe a prescription, normally that's in an extenuating circumstance for sleep, and it's meant for a short-term thing. So the real solution is to get control of your sympathetic nervous system response, be able to deactivate, be able to get into the bedtime routine, be able to relax. And so one of the things that we're going to do is this breathing exercise. And this is a technique that if you do it over time, you can help improve that ability to take control of that anxiety before bed. So
awesome. And Bart, are you ready for this breathing exercise?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to play it, and I'm going to turn my lights out. And if you are, wherever you're listening from, feel free to join us here. It's going to be a good experience. Just follow along with the instructions that you're hearing over your stereo or your headphones, and we will go ahead and proceed and do this now.
This exercise that we'll do next is called the Ferris wheel breath. So just allow yourself to find a comfortable seat, either lying down, seated, standing, whatever feels comfortable for you in this moment. Take a nice big deep breath in, and then let it go. And just sense the whole body here in the space that it's in. Maybe noticing the weight of your body and where it's supported, either in the feet, maybe the glutes, or maybe the whole back side of the torso if you're lying down. Just notice the weight of your body being supported here completely by whatever surface that it's resting on. And then notice your breath, not having to change the breath in any way here. Just notice how it's naturally entering and leaving your body as you breathe in and out. See if there's any areas that might still be gripping tension in the body, relaxing around the eyes and the jaw, the neck and shoulders, hips and lower back, knees and feet. Now bring your awareness down to your feet, just noticing any sensation that might be occurring here in the soles of the left and the right foot. And on your next in-breath, we'll begin to bring our awareness all the way up the front of the body, all the way to the top of the head. And on the exhale, allow awareness to glide down the back of the body from head to heels. Inhaling up the front of the body from toes to head, and exhaling down the back of the body from head to heels. Just following this circular current of energy as the body naturally breathes in and out. If the mind is carried away with a thought, it's okay. Just gently guide your awareness back to the body breathing and the sensation of your awareness gliding from the toes to the head on your inhale, and the exhale gliding awareness down the back of the body from head to heels. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to the whole body breathing itself. Just noting the whole body gently expanding and releasing with each breath. Noticing here how there's absolutely nothing you need to do, nothing that you need to change, nothing you need to fix in this moment. Just noting the whole body breathing itself.
All right. And that concludes our breathing exercise there. Thank you everyone who participated. How's everybody feeling after that, Rob, Barda?
Relieved. Just hearing Janelle's voice.
Yeah, we should give a shout out to Janelle Norton who put together all of those.
Yeah. Thank you, Janelle, who has been on the show when we had that large panel discussion that one time. She has joined us. I don't remember what that was called or what that episode was, that number, but it's back there if you go listen to the old Exist Tribe Rob Sweetman episodes. You know, it's so funny. I'm listening to that and she's like, feel your feet. And I'm like, oh my God, I can feel my feet. Like you've just, you just never think about like, how do my feet feel right now, you know? And how does breathing make me feel? And we just never take that time to self-assess and just be in that moment. But when we do these breathing exercises, I really do feel like I can get there. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And Rob, always thank you. It's just always a blast to do these talks. And I know people get a lot out of it. I always get a lot of emails and Instagram messages after these saying how much people enjoyed it and how they can't wait for the next one. So thank you and congratulations on everything.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to be on here. This has really been a positive way to reach out and talk to people. So
great.
Thank you.
Bart, I look forward to having you back on sometime, hopefully soon, maybe next month. How does that sound?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I hope this is not the last one because I really enjoyed being here.
Great. Awesome. All right, guys, if you can, Rob, is there anything else before we get going?
Nope, just that final plug of the best way to stay in touch with us, especially if you need help with sleep, is that the 62 Romeo spelled out all the way, 62romeo.org. And then everything that you need to know about our program is right there.
Awesome. Bart, anything you would like to say before we get going?
No, just join us. And if you're struggling with sleep, just join us and we'll help you out with that.
All right, great. Guys, stick around on the Zoom call there and I'll be back with you in a moment. Sound good?
Yep. Thank you.
All right. I mean, honestly, what more can be said? It's always an absolute wonderful time when we get Rob and his team on the show. Please, guys, go check out 62romeo.org. Go check out restnode.org and see what Exist Tribe is up to. And I can't wait to see more and get my hands on a Rest Node when they're available and participate in the growth of Rob's mission over there with the great people that he's brought together. Thank you for joining me. As always, it's been a great week on the Scuttlebutt Show. I'll be back next week, Sunday through Thursday, 1800 Pacific Standard Time with brand new episodes, all the fun stuff that we always do, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Thanks for joining us. It meant a lot to me and to everybody else, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. For now, that's the Scuttlebutt.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.